Hello, everyone, and welcome to Toronto New Mom Facebook Live. If you watch us live on our Facebook page, say hello, send us a comment, let us know you're here with us. If you watch the video later, we would love your feedback as well. I'm your host, DL, and joining us today is Lily from Lil Baby Sleep. So hi, Lily.
Hi,
How are you today?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so Lily is a pediatric sleep consultant and potty training consultant. And in today's session, we will discuss potty training. So thank you, Lily, for joining us. And why don't you tell us more about yourself, your family, and your business?
Sure. So I'm actually a mom of 2 toddlers myself. I live in Toronto with my family, and I'm the owner of Lil Baby Sleep. I'm a certified pediatric sleep consultant and a potty training consultant. So what I do is I work with families to eliminate the frustration, the dread, the exhaustion that comes with these big milestones and help make it easy for them so that they can enjoy them and, dare I say, make them fun, and get parents through that. So that is really my purpose, is to help parents through these milestones and get them feeling energetic, happy, enjoying those moments with their little ones in their best self. And I think with both sleep and potty training, sometimes we all need that kind of support. And as a parent, I understand that.
Yeah, that's great. So I know that potty training is a hot topic in my mommy group, as our little one's turning 2 years old. And I'm so glad we have this opportunity to share some tips and strategies with the Toronto New Mom community. So let's dive into the first question and the most important one. How do I know my toddler is ready for potty training?
Oh, this is one of the biggest questions that I get. How do I know my little one is ready? And here's the thing I would reframe for you is your little one capable of learning, right? Are they developmentally ready to learn? And what some of the things to ask yourself is, one, are they over an age where they can start learning these new skills? So 18 months and over. I would say, can they use language to communicate? So can they say peep or poo or whatever you call it in your house? Can they follow two-step instructions? And are they starting to become very curious about what's going on in the bathroom? And those are all things to look out for to see if your little one is capable of learning. And will your little one be wanting to potty train? That's a whole different thing. But I think that if they are developmentally ready, and the biggest thing is, are you ready as a parent? Because this is one of the biggest things, and it happened to me too. With my son, I was, I kept saying he's not ready. We'll keep trying. We'll try, but then he's not ready. And then I would give up, and then I would come back. And the reality was that I wasn't ready to really commit to the process. Yeah. And this is exactly why I help parents, because you got to get through that. And sometimes you just need that support. So yeah, if they're developmentally ready, that's one thing. And if they're capable of learning that skill, because it is a skill, then you're ready.
Yeah, so that all sounds very familiar. So next question, how do I avoid power struggles with during potty training?
So yeah, this is one of the big questions, because with toddlers, we often get struggles with potty training, with anything, to be honest with you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And it's so funny because with potty training, it's going to happen, right? Power struggles are any time that we want to control a situation and make our child do something. And when it comes to potty training, the reality is that they have full control, right? And so it's about redirecting, and how do we approach it in a way that's going to get them on board and get them to feel like they have control and understand the learning process. So I think it's really thinking about what is causing that power struggle, and really changing the way we talk and changing the way we approach it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to help, with that power struggle bit. And I teach those strategies, especially for the older ones.
Yes, exactly. So, moving into my next question, so what can you say to families who are struggling with an older kid? So maybe he's 3 or 4 years old, and I have, a few examples in my head of families I know, because we all know, those kids that maybe, the families already want to send them to school and they are not ready just because of the potty training, not because of any other factor. So what is your best tips for families who struggle with an older kid?
So my biggest thing is don't give up. And as your child gets older, it gets harder only because they get a little bit more set in their ways.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more of a behavior thing. Boundaries are really important. So we change the way we approach it as they get older, but it can happen. And
Yeah.
don't feel like it's impossible for you if you have an older child. And this is why you would reach out for support, because you need to learn those tactics or those strategies to help them as they get older. But it is totally possible, and it can happen very fast,
Mm-hmm.
especially as they get older, because that learning curve is already there. They know about the potty probably. They've probably
Yeah.
tried it. You've probably thrown in the towel a couple of times, which happened to me as well. And it's just about to get you through. And I think having a plan with older children is really important, understanding where that resistance is coming from
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, a new another question I want to ask is, what will be the best age to start potty training? Like, there is a, age or a time frame that will be the best for us?
So if you ask me like the ideal time to start potty
Yeah.
training, I would probably say around 20 months to 30 months.
Okay.
In
So even
that,
before 2 years old.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
you can,
Okay.
and as long as they're capable and they're developed, like they can speak and you've checked off those check marks,
Mm-hmm.
then I think you're ready to start. And I personally prefer a younger, because then we don't have that much resistance, and
Okay.
they love to please as they get younger, and it's a lot easier. So I would start anytime after 18 months. Start to look out for those signs, and you can start anytime. And then again, are you ready? You gotta
Yeah.
be ready as a parent to kind of go through that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good advice. Um, I hear that a lot, that boys and girls are very different when it comes to potty training, and that boys are struggling more than girls. I don't know if it's true. So, do you agree with that? It's something that you hear, or like with your work with families. Have you seen
So
something like
yeah,
that?
I hear this a lot, and it's actually one of the things I talk about in the workshop that I'm going to be having, is
Mm-hmm.
the myths and misconceptions about potty
Oh,
training. And I think
okay.
one of the biggest ones is boys are not or potty train later, or they're not as prone to potty training or as easy to potty train as girls, and that is not true. It
Okay, good
really,
to know that. Okay, that's
yeah,
new
it really is
information.
a child specific thing.
Okay.
And so you have to work with that individual child, and you have to work with that individual family and their parenting philosophy. And so it really does take a personalized approach. And so generalizing it with a boys are not as early as girls, I think that it's just one of those myths that is out there. So if you do have a boy, you totally can potty train, and they can just learn just as fast. Yeah.
That's great. And what will be if I'm planning to potty training my daughter? Naomi, she just turned 2 years old. Like, what's the time frame I should, plan that it will happen, that she will move from diapers into the toilet? there is any uh
Yeah, that's a really good question because that's
mhm.
totally up to you. So there's two
Okay.
schools of thought with potty training. There's a child-centric approach, and then there is a get her done and fast. It really
Yeah.
depends on how fast you want it to take. So if you want to do something very gradual and move into it very slowly, it could be a couple of months. If you want to do it fast, quick, and get it done, I say between 3 to 5 days. However, I have a lot of parents that are like, oh, it's day 3 and this is not happening. And then
Hmm.
they give up. So I also don't want you to compare yourself to other families. Some kids, it
Yeah,
just
it's
takes,
always a good advice. Yeah, with
right?
when it
Like,
comes to kids and toddlers. Yeah.
exactly. You could be so stressed out. And I feel like I don't want to set like, oh, it has to be done in 3 days, but most kids get it in 3 days. If not, it's a couple of days after. And then you're always going to have the odd accident. You're going to be dealing with how to go out for outings. And so things are going to happen that, it's not going to be perfect. But once you get the initial learning out of the way and done, then it
Mhm.
gets so much easier for you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so the if I understand your approach is very, each family and each kid will have a different, set of time frame or different approach, right?
Exactly. Like we're working with humans. And I
Yeah.
always say that our little ones are not robots. And also it really depends on how much time you have. This time, I'm gonna say out of anything that's come out of 2020, this time is the best time.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that because often if your little one is in daycare, they have very different potty training approaches, and it's sometimes better to just keep them home and do it. And if that's the way you want to go, this is an opportunity to do that because we're kind of forced to do that. So if you're going to do it, over the holidays is a great time to start
Yeah.
because you're going to be home anyway, and you don't have to set aside that time. But I always say parents should set aside time to do this, and that should be like the only thing they do is
Okay.
watch your child
Okay.
during those 3 initial days and then a little bit afterwards as well.
Yes, so that will be my next question. If you think that the COVID-19 and the lockdown, would be easier on us or more challenging. I feel it's more easier because we are at home, but it's more challenging because like some of the if we're going outside or if we visit places, there's no washroom or like there's no indoors, right? There's no indoors, right? Not in Toronto, in the GTA. So
Yeah.
everything is closed. So that's another challenge, right? So how do you um, advise us to prepare for going outside if we in the middle of potty
Yeah.
training, or should we stay indoors and in our house?
No, I'm not going to force you to stay indoors. I think fresh air is important. So there's a couple of things. One, yes, it's a perfect time because you're going to be indoors. If you have to head
Mhm.
outdoors, I always start with a potty, to bring a potty with us wherever we go. You can put it in your car, and that will prevent you from having, or you can't now, but that would have prevented you from having to go to very scary restrooms that toddlers do not like.
Yeah,
They don't like the
gas
flushing
stations.
toilet.
Yeah.
So if you have a potty, you can throw it anywhere, you can bring it anywhere. And then you might have to time it a little bit. If they just go pee, you wait for that. And then you have usually it's 2 hours, but it could be less of time where they're not going to need the potty. But it's about the first few days, I always say stay home. And then after day 2 or 3, then I always encourage parents to venture out and not be scared and just bring their potty with them. I think that's the most comfortable.
Okay. And what about nighttime? So should we potty train our kids, at the same approach for night and day toilet use, or it's going to be, in stages?
Yeah. So I always do
Or
day
nap time,
first.
sorry, nighttime, nap time.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can do day like during the day and nap time together, or you
Okay.
can do day and nap time separate. I personally did day and nap time together, and we just kind of did all day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I always recommend you do nights separate and later. Kids are not ready to hold their bladder for 11, 12 hours overnight until they're a
Okay.
little bit older. So you can still keep your pull-ups overnight. And one
Mm-hmm.
big way to know if they're ready, and potty training at night is really just taking away the diaper. Really nothing else to do there other than just removing the pull-up. But how you know you're ready is that if they're waking up with dry diapers, then you know that they can hold it that long and their bladder is big enough to hold that much urine, or and then you know they're ready to take away the diapers at night.
Okay, that's great answers. Thank you so much. So Lily, you have an upcoming online workshop for parents who would like to prepare for potty training. And can you tell us more about this workshop?
Yeah, so I'm trying to pack this into an hour, but it's an 1 hour online workshop on Thursday, December 3rd at 8 p.m. And I'm going to be talking about it all. I'm going to be giving you strategies about how to potty train. I'm going to talk about myths and misconceptions. I'm going to talk about bumps in the road because that's a big one.
Mhm.
And all of this is going to be recorded, and you'll get the recording. And then also you're going to get a 15-minute call with me a
Oh,
week or 2
okay.
weeks down the line, whenever you want to do it. If you have something that comes up personally, we can chat about it. And I feel like that is really important, is to touch base with you and make sure you're seeing results, because sometimes we just need that helping hand. So it's an hour, you get that 15-minute call, and then you're also going to get a prep list before, which has what to prepare for potty training. So you're prepared before the workshop on what you want to pick up, or
Mhm.
how to prepare for it ahead of time as
Okay,
well.
I have a question. I think it will come up later. Is it so also a good fit for parents for 3 or 4 years old who's struggling, or it's only for these, 20 to 30 months toddlers?
So yes, they can totally come. I actually have a Q&A afterwards, so we can be very specific about
Okay.
their needs and
Mm-hmm.
some strategies for them. And then also in that 15-minute call they get after, that's all about them. So I can talk to
Right.
them about some of the biggest challenges they're facing with older children as well.
Okay, that is great. So the workshop is this upcoming Thursday, December the 3rd at 8 p.m. and it will be also recorded. So if someone cannot be available at this time or is doing like late bedtime or early bedtime for some people, everything is fine. We're all doing our best. But if you're not available at 8 p.m., you can see the recording. We also have a 50% discount code for this event. It is thrown on you, mom. And thank you so much, Lily, for offering this discount. I will share the link and the discount as a comment on this video. Thank you so much, Lily, for being with us today. And thank you, everyone at home, for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.